Machine Scrolling from 25th February 2023. Broadcast.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Connect. Of course, it's a 30-minute relationship and family live show here on Spectrum Television, coming to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. My name is Uyaniek, and thanks for joining us. Of course, I don't know how it happened at your end. Yesterday was Valentine's Day. Some people got served breakfast, some people got engagement rings, some people broke up. A variety of things happening. And I always bring a table, but thanks to technology, I brought you faces today. And I'll be joined with very special people from across the country. And we have a topic of discussion today. For those who got served breakfast yesterday, for those who got engaged, how have you been able to handle the discouragement of the single phase? There's a trick we did today. We have 2 married women and 2 single people. So let me introduce my guests for today. First on the line, the only man on the block today, we have Chima Okoye, who is a life coach and senior podcaster in Nigeria. Hi, C. Okoye. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm honored.
Yeah, and then we also have here on set with us, we have Barrister Esther Eno. Good evening, Barrister Esther. Good to have you on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course, that's also a life coach. We have a lot of life coaches now, but her specialty is in marriage and relationship. We also have Mrs. Okoma Caleb Rex, all the way from Calabar. Oh, I forgot to mention the locations. We'll do that again. But we have Mrs. Okoma Rex from Calabar. Good morning, Okoma. Thanks for joining us. That's like good evening.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, so the very last damsel we have on display today is our favorite face on Connect. This one is a house member. Hi, Favor Aban. Good to have you on the show this evening.
Hi, Uya. It's good to be here again.
Of course. How's Lagos?
I've been good. Thank you for having me.
All right, great. So let's drive straight into the conversation. We are treating this a day after Valentine's Day, and we know that there was a beehive of activities. We currently see videos and things trending on social media of events that happened yesterday. But to have this conversation today, we are looking at managing the season of being single. Basically, we have 2 single people, 2 married people on the show today, and it's great. I was thinking I should have had 1 married man to, block a married woman, but we are doing 2 married women versus, 2 single people. So let's just ask the questions. Let's look at it. Who do I start from? Let me start with Okoma. Okoma, you got married 2 years or 3 years ago now, and I would really love to ask, how did you handle yourself, during your single phase? When you were waiting to get married, what was the experience like for you? Okay, I think network is trying to get in the way whilst we wait for her network to buffer. Okay, Esther, I think you can pick that up since you're also a married person.
Okay. Please say it again.
So I want to find out how you managed yourself, your season of being single. How was that season for you, navigating and waiting? How did you go through it?
Oh, well, there were mistakes were made. Okay, so It wasn't a smooth season. Okay, there were mistakes, there were wrong choices that were made. There was pressure, trying to cope with societal pressure, age-wise, you're running out of time, waiting on God and it's not coming through, and then, or it's not coming the time you want, and then, you're trying to find or answer yourself. You're waiting on God to answer, and it seems like it's delaying a bit, and then you want to find the answer for yourself. You want to find the man for yourself. So I made quite some mistakes. Okay, so I I entered the wrong relationship, obviously, before I married my husband. And of course, due to the whole pressure and everything, everybody's getting married. I was in a relationship church, married in a relationship church. So every now and then you have, them calling out persons that are about to get married and all. And then it be like, now only you, nothing they work. So that pressure just makes you, anyone that just looks like right small like this, you want to grab onto it. So let me just stop there for now,
Okay.
except you want to go further.
Yeah, I'll come back to you, right? So, just giving it perspective, we are looking at premarital pressure, handling the premarital pressure, especially like in this love season. Some people are like, if it doesn't happen by February 14, it's over for me, just like Esther said. And let me allow Okoma, who is also married, just give her view. How did you navigate that premarital pressure that season while you waited to be married? What exactly did you do differently upon, exploring all the relationships that came?
Okay, thank you so much. How I handled premarital pressure is that thankfully my foundation helped a great deal. When I was a teenager in our teen church, we were taught about relationships, so it helped a great deal. One of the lessons that helped me was a story my teacher told me then. He said there was a girl in school who was being teased by her classmates because she did not have a boyfriend and did not have sex. So her classmate kept on teasing her. And then one day she summoned courage, and when they came to tease her, she told them, I can be like you guys in a minute, but even in an eternity, you guys can never be like me. So that was what helped me. And then plus the fact that I came in contact with Singles Frank Talk, it helped a whole lot. It helped my decisions. It helped me when those pressures came in. Like in secondary school, you can imagine your secondary school teacher telling you, come to my house and eat Indomie and egg. So how? Is it Indomie and egg that will bring me to your house? And I heard he had some escapades with some of my colleagues, my classmates then. So it helped me, like the teachings I had from King's Church and then meeting with Pastor Ezekiel helped a whole lot.
Okay. All right. So now, just for some people, Pastor Ezekiel of blessed memory, we lost him last year. And so there's just a lot. Now, I've established from your end that the teachings that you had as a young lady really helped to stabilize your feet in the process, your premarital season. Chima Okoye, you are a young man. You are the one who does the hunting. You are the one who does the chasing. Why are you still single? And, how have you been navigating the murky waters of the premarital season?
Okay. So a lot has already been said. So I'm going to go at it from another angle,
Absolutely.
and I'm going to quickly say that your single time or the season of your singleness or your singlehood is a time of blessing actually, and not a curse. And so it is not a time that we should be in a hurry to be in the next relationship or in a marriage, as the case may be. Rather, it should be a time for you to see as a blessing and a time you will never get back, and the time you need to do everything you need to do in your life while that time lasts. Because, like I said a few moments ago, you cannot get back this one time you have now. So I'm saying this because of those who, it is really interesting to know that there are people who put themselves under the pressure that I really have to do this. I really need to get into a relationship. I really need to get a guy or get a lady. I really need to do this and all of that. But there is no, in the real sense of things, there is no need really to be in a hurry. You're not running a race or anything, because at the end of the day, when you get into a relationship and into a marriage eventually, you are, of course, those of us who are married here, they know that they will testify to the fact that they dance, they are the ones to dance to the tune immediately after the wedding ceremony. When everybody have left,
Yeah,
it is you who will face your husband, or is you who will face your wife.
exactly.
Your friends who influenced you to get married will not be there with you. Your friends who
Exactly.
influenced you to agree. And it is true. Most ladies, they have their friends who will say, agree now, just agree, just agree. The one that blows my mind is when they they ask a lady, "Will you marry me?" Everybody around say yes, say yes, say yes, say yes. You know, and it gets me wondering, what if this person is not the right person for you? Do you now say yes? And at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is, at the end of the day, whoever you agree to live with, or whoever you agree to follow, you're going to live with for the rest of your life. So
Yeah.
you might as well take your time, enjoy the moment you have. Your single time is not a curse, but actually a blessing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so enjoy yourself, enjoy the time. We are enjoying ourselves and enjoying our time. We are beating 30, 35. We're getting on 40, getting on 45. Now, everyone, let's favor, let's talk about the fact that these pressures, sometimes they are internal pressures, sometimes they are external. Now, internal pressure are some of the things that, Chima just talked about, where you have someone saying, at the age of 30, I must be married. At 29, I must be married. So you begin to pressure yourself that, all relationships must work out at 29. Favor, how do you navigate when, let's say, society has set a stage and a time tag that once you knock 30, it's already, they have introduced you into the circle of prayer points. So how do you deal with that when that is the reality that we face in the world? It's not even strictly an African thing.
Okay. When we talk about society, society has become a huge part of influence, and we make it feel like society is the standard or the exception. But the reality is society is not the standard for certain decision making. So when you make
Absolutely.
society a standard for relationship or marital goals, you always have that pressure. It boils down to foundation, like what Okuma said. Every single, whatever you are not when you are single, it becomes twice as difficult to be when you have a partner. Singleness is a stage
Sure.
of separation, building, building capacity in every area.
Work is getting in that way, but we will have this conversation because tough things are happening. Esther, I know that you're big on, giving counsel with regards to people in the waiting season and all of that. So just handle what Favor was on. Navigating when age is no longer on your side, the relationships are not coming. Time is going. The pressure is getting worse and worse. It's a real thing. It's happening all around us. How do you think people can navigate these kinds of, seasons?
Okay, first you need to understand that one year with the right person is better than 10,000 years with the wrong person.
Sure.
So when those pressures come around you, you need to have that at the back of your mind, because you could have waited for, 30 years, you're 35, and then because of those pressures, you just, grab any man and then say I do, and spend the next 30 years of your life worse than when you were single. Do you understand? So for me, I feel you should, if you're a believer, you should have a word. You should, get a word from God, because I mean that's like the rock. That's what keeps you going when the pressure is all around. Okay, so you have a word. God has promised me or promised you that, okay, I'm going to settle you and all of that, and you hold on to that word.
Esther,
And
there are
while
people that
holding
are
on to
holding
that,
on to the word. Let's navigate a little bit towards Christians. Now we have a lot of Christians that are holding on to the word. They know their word. They know their Bible. They know what God told them. 5, 10 years, 15 years. Because I was listening to someone yesterday, and the person said we have a pandemic of single people in the world, mostly even in the Christendom, because it seems to be that it's the Christians that are falling short of the technical know-how into getting into relationships and getting married, as it were. So let's, I like to be, I don't know how we say it, but like balancing the reality
okay,
of things on ground and being a believer, as it were.
okay. So, well, I'm not saying you should hold on to the word and then sit in your house and all of that. You have to. You definitely will go out at your workplace, in church. You could meet people, but it starts with friendship. All right. So while you're holding on to the word, you cannot be holding on to the word and then you're snubbing every guy that is coming around you. Do you
Okay.
understand? You can't be holding on to the word and then, you're looking down on every, as long as it's not the standard, or as long as it's not what you feel God told you about, or how you've imagined it. And then you're turning down, every single person. So while you're holding on to the word, you still have to, keep up with friendship.
Okay.
Nobody, the man is not going to fall from heaven and propose to you.
Okay.
It's going to come from, among your circle, either your circle of friends or your workplace, or, your society around you.
Okay.
So while you're holding on to the word, you first of all, need to build yourself. You need to be attractive. You need to also make yourself attractive.
Big
You
score
can't
there.
Yes, you have to make yourself attractive. It's not that you're just praying and fasting in the house and confessing the word and calling him forth, and you're in the house, you're going out, you're looking tattered, you're not, you're not relational
Okay.
and all of that. That word won't come to pass.
All right.
Okay, so all right, so let me stop there.
Okay, so Chima, let me come to you. I hope Chima is still there somewhere, because Chima is like the only man, so I need to like hack on how the guys are surviving on the street. Chima, now give us practical ways. You are a young man. You are probably in your 30s, and you're working, you're very good looking. It shouldn't be hard for you to get a wife at this time. Marky waters. And sometimes people will feel like it's difficult for men to navigate this season, especially now. Esther brought up the whole scenario of Christian men. As a Christian man, it's expected that you're keeping chaste at this time. How are you as a person? Because I like practical conversations. How are you handling being single? The relationship season is not working out for you right now. How are you doing it? I know you asked me earlier if I'm sure you're single, but then again, how are you handling the season? What do you do practically to sustain yourself?
There is no other way to be single than to be single. I can't. There's no other way to put it. Just like there's no other way to be married than to be married. The thing is, like Favor said something earlier. The problem is we have made this the world of society become the standard, or lifestyle, social media,
Yeah.
such that it now removes our focus from what it should really be. Now, it might sound like I'm just saying, but the truth is, if you don't know who you are and what you want, you are going to go anywhere and you're going to end up with anybody or anything.
Oh wow.
I'm going to say it again. If you don't know who you are and if you don't know what you want, you're going to find yourself anywhere and you're going to end up with just anybody, because you are tossed around, like the Bible says, you are tossed around with every wind of doctrine. So anywhere it is happening, that's where you will be found. But the truth is, the real measure of success in life is it's not even marriage. So when you remove your mind and your focus on your drive from from relationship and marriage, as it were, and you just focus on living your life, building your network, it is from the way you live your life. Your married, your husband or your wife will not come from outside the people you know. I
Exactly.
don't know if we understand or if we believe that. They will not come from space. They will come from the people we know. Might not be direct. It might be from someone you know that knows someone that knows someone that you know. But it has to come from someone within your side, your circle. So that's why what was earlier mentioned, I can't remember the name of my auntie who said that. But so she said, network, meet people, because it is from there that you will get the people who you will end up with.
Yeah.
Now, how am I handling this period, this time? I'm just living my life, really.
Like
I'm
living your
just
best
living my
life.
life.
Okay.
At the end of, because as a single person, you will never get your single days again. And to be very honest, this might sound extreme, but it is the least of my worries whether I end up with someone or not. It is the least of my worries. What I'm more concerned about is the things I need to do or the things I need to achieve. This is not another motivational speech or a motivational moment, but it is the simple truth. When you know, like I mentioned earlier, when you know who you are, you will not settle for anybody. You will not find yourself everywhere. And when our last speaker was saying something dawned on me. I wanted to say that whatever your list is, or whatever list, I'm just using that because I don't have a better word to use. Whatever your list is, or whatever your desire as a single person is in what you want for what you want in your life,
In a
your choice of
partner.
life partner,
Yeah.
whatever that list is valid. So it becomes a problem when you are trying to edit your list because you met somebody.
Word.
That is where heartbreaks begin. That's where heartbreaks begin to come in. And I'm not saying you should have unrealistic desires.
Expectations.
So all I'm saying is have realistic expectations, but don't edit them because you met someone new. So you meet someone and then you're saying, okay, I know I want a spiritual man, but this one likes God, so I can excuse him in that area. No, I don't think that's just my own point of view. I don't think you should do that. Let me not stretch any further. Thank you.
Okay, so what we are going to do at this time is that we're going to take a very quick short break, and when we return, we'll still have a guest on standby to bring us, more things. Let's unpack this whole season. Let's unpack this whole single life thing. Don't go away. When we return, Connect continues.
Every day, we bring you up-to-date information on topical issues affecting the common Nigerian. From issues on politics,
Hello, Nigeria. I remain committed.
Security.
Education, health,
Lifestyle, and so much more. Join Janice Kobum and Uyai Anyeken
every weekday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Rise and Shine Daily, exclusive on Spectrum Television.
Good health, they say, is something you can't buy. But the decision to live healthy is a choice that you have to make. Join health practitioners from diverse health fields as they provide you with vital information to help your day-to-day health decisions on Wellbeing, your wellness talk show. Wellbeing airs every Monday, 7 to 7:30 p.m. only on Spectrum TV.
Welcome back. It's still Connect coming to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State. On Connect, we unpack conversations covering relationships. Now it covers man-woman relationship, family life relationships. How do parents relate with their children? How do siblings relate? Those are the things we talk about on Connect. This week, we are having the conversation post February 14th, the almighty Valentine's Day. Now we're looking at how to handle premarital pressure. How did people navigate from being single to getting married? What did they do differently? Because I mean, the pressure is real in the world, whether they're internal, whether they are external. What would we call it now, the pressure is real, it continues, but we need to look for real ways to navigate this, and we've been having conversation with 4 persons today, giving us great time. Thank you, Chima. Thank you, Barrister Esther. Thank you, Okoma, Rex, for being there. Thank you, Favor. I know that Favor is still frozen. I don't know, network is really getting in the way, but then we'll just quite unpack it again. Okoma, let's talk to you. I know that you have like a network of very healthy females around you, and sometimes it's difficult when you see your friend is getting married. All of you have prayed together, you have waited, you set goals, you have pursued your goals. So it's not like you kept marriage on the table waiting for it to happen. You were pursuing your goals. Your friends are getting married, you did not get married. How did you handle that situation? I know at one point Deborah had married and you guys were still waiting for it to happen for you. How did you navigate that space?
I don't know. Society makes marriage look like it is the ultimate. If you're not married, then you're missing out. See, singles, don't be deceived. Marriage is good, yes, but then when you come into it, you will understand what I'm saying. Barrister Esther, are you with me?
That's trying to be like a community of married women affairs, because I was even going to ask versus the time when you waited for marriage to happen and when you got into marriage, what did you see differently and you're like, I wish I had done this differently. There's how eventually the miracle happens, the husband comes and you're like, why did I really myself? So I'd like both of you to take on that differently. Maybe you just finished, that stands in marriage where you're like, okay, what was all the hassle into getting into this about?
Okay, firstly, we both come from different backgrounds. So there's some characters you see and you're like, okay, I didn't see this. I didn't see this when we were single. You're now living with this person. You'd wake up to this
They didn't tell
person,
me.
and then you'd see different characters, and you're like, wow. And you'd have to live with it. I think this is where openness and communication comes in. Telling your partner, okay, this is this, and I don't feel comfortable with what you're doing. And then the person takes correction and all. So, and the responsibilities that marriage comes with, it's not a child's play. Responsibilities are in marriage. You have to be responsible for your family, you have to be responsible for your children. People are looking up to you as a married person. They think you should be a standard, a role model.
Esther, if you're there, you just, give us your end. Getting married, what you saw inside versus when you felt like, oh, I should have been married when I was 25.
You're just watching TV, you're sitting on each other's laps, you're chicken, you're watching TV, people are laughing, he's pecking you here. Actually thought, it's going to be back to back love, romance. When I got married, first, it was, first trimester hit me. So all of those picture went first. It shifted away first, where, I had to be throwing up pregnancy and all of that. And then we couldn't have, because of the way my first trimester was, we couldn't have the whole romance. We had it like the honeymoon. So I felt like that's how it's going to be. But after first trimester and then responsibilities, nobody kisses. Okuma, do you kiss from morning till night? Nobody kisses from morning till night. It's not true.
Favor, can we see your face? So let's talk to Favor, because I think network has brought her on back for us. And we know that you often will hear Lagos. Okay, Favor is off again. Okay, what a pity. I would have asked her because I heard that the dating scenes in Lagos is West side is hot. It's hard to find men. So I wanted to ask, find out how she's navigating right there. So let's go to let's handle Chima just for a bit before we wrap up the show this evening. We've heard the women say that, okay, it is not like the things that they dreamt about just before getting married. Now, are you actively preparing to get married somehow, although it's not the thing on your front burner?
It gets to a time in a man's life when
You sound like you want to tell
he
us
just
riddle.
knows that where the man knows. Some time ago I wrote something on my status. I was like, when a man knows, he knows. And this is because men are never confused about what they want.
Exactly.
At least I know that. I know that to a reasonable extent. A man is never confused about what he wants. And I think that should help women to a reasonable extent. So that when you see a guy who is around you and he's not taking definite steps, that should be a sign for you to either get clarification or run away.
Yeah, I need to say a big thank you to all of our guests for coming to Favor. We definitely have to do this again. Network just did not allow us hear your voice, but you dropped a blockbuster before network seized you up. Society cannot be the determinant of the decisions that we make in our lives. That was all she could say today, and I think it's the
Absolutely.
strongest thing I have heard today. So a big thank you to Barrister Esther Eno for coming on the show today. Thank you, Mrs. Okoma Caleb Rex, for coming all the way from Calabar. Thank you, Favor Abang from Lagos, and a big thank you to Chima Okoye. I did not forget your name, I promise. A big thank you to Chima Okoye for coming all the way from Port Harcourt today. It's been so great having you. Of course, Esther Eno is here in Akwa Ibom State, and it's been great hearing your different perspectives on marriage and relationship. We definitely would do this sometime again. A big thank you to you. All right, bye-bye. At this point, I want to say a big thank you to you, our followers and our viewers, for watching. We hope to get your contributions. Get into the comment section here and let's get your thoughts. We'll do this again next week, same time, same station. Do stay with us and go nowhere. Bye.